Hello, and thank you for listening to this episode of the Billy Newman Photo Podcast. My name is Billy Newman. I'm a photographer based in the Northwest, and this is a podcast covering some of the things that I am working on in the media industry for, October 24th, 2017. Coming up to the end of October already. I mean, I think really like everything that's going to be Halloween or Halloween weekend is going to be this weekend, right? Like the 28th, 29th, and then a couple more days till Tuesday is the 31st. And then we're in November already. It's nuts how the year's flying by. But man, I'm going to be 29 in like 3 weeks. I got a lot to do while I'm still 28. It's going to be busy. So that's what I'm kind of trying to do is I'm trying to stay busy. But today I just wanted to cover a couple of things real quick. Some of the pictures and stuff that have been going up, some of the things that have been going on, things that I'm working on. But a lot of it has just been some business development stuff. I'm trying to figure out networking stuff. I'm going to a networking event tomorrow. I'm probably pretty ill prepared for it, right? Like, do you guys have business cards? Everybody has business cards. At least everybody used to. But nowadays, it seems like the digital notion of it is kind of taken over and that you need like some other platform or some other thing to express where to send people for business stuff. But you also need like some kind of physical card or note or something, man. I mean, really. It's weird that I had a set for a long time. I got like a pack, a big pack of business cards at one time. I had my name and my info on it. And it was fine, but they don't go out enough and they do not like, or at least the people I was giving it to, it wasn't like a networking situation. It was just people a lot of the time. And then he ended up really not actually getting that much contact back or that many leads out of it. But that is no reason not to try it. So tomorrow I'm going to a networking luncheon thing. I'm going to try and meet some people and, I don't know, see if they need photos. Who knows? I don't know what kind of business to really pitch some guy who runs an accounting office or an HVAC guy, like a heating and AC guy. What are they going to do? Or I don't know. I don't want to take a bunch of company portraits of people. But I want better job, or, I want like different kind of gigs to go work on. I want like some contract business to work on. And so I'll do whatever work I can do, I suppose. But I really kind of want to work with clients that sort of understand what I'm trying to do and clients that I could actually really help out a lot. Like I can make a couple portraits for some local business. I'm sure if anybody's got just been through photo stuff, they kind of get like, that's sort of a diminishing returns kind of game. Like, yeah, there's $50 in there this afternoon, maybe. And I guess maybe a relationship, and that'd be cool. I'd like to network that, I suppose. But there's so much of it that's just like thin. Does that make sense? Like there's really never any outcome of it of just, oh, it's just this sort of small time client is trying to get more value out of me than what they're offering. It's kind of a weird thing. It's just sort of an uncomfortable situation. I'm happy to work with people all the time and really to do a lot of stuff for darn near free. And kind of given the value of work, it's like, I don't know, it makes sense. Yeah, like they're paying a good bit. I want to try and work for them. I want to try and get the photographs made in a good way. There's a lot of competition out there for photographers. So yeah, I want to participate. But man, is there an interesting thing of like kind of networking and dealing with clients and stuff for photography. But tomorrow will be good. I don't participate enough with networking of, different local businesses and stuff. But outside of local businesses and whatever kind of nonsense that might be, what I'm really trying to push for is the business development inside of the industry, inside of like we're building a network of people that are photographers that I've met or networked with or kind of associated with in some way. I'm just trying to get like some better information around that. I've been hearing about sort of like a trend. I don't know. It's like these 5-minute networking meetings. It's like a short-term meeting period where I don't know, where you're in the same industry. I don't know, you BS for a couple of minutes. It seems kind of trendy in the popular or, in the city version of stuff. I don't know, you DM someone on Instagram, hey, give me 5 minutes of your time and let's talk. And then I guess you talk to them. I don't know what you ask them. You look at their website, you say, hey, how's it going? Cool photos. What's that like? How's your business? I don't know what you do, but you try and meet these people or these photographers or wedding planners or whatever kind of thing you're trying to network for. But I'm trying to get into that a bit more. And set up some meetings and generate some calls. But that's been kind of fun. But outside of that, really like what the big focus is putting together a bunch of the photographs that I've been shooting. And that's been going really fun too. I put up a couple photos this last week, like that teepee ring I was talking about in Eastern Oregon. And teepee's kind of a colloquial, or, it's a word we would understand for a canvas hut made to be a dwelling. I don't know. So I'm sure there's lots of different forms of it. I was looking up a little bit more after that, and it looks like I think that site, like that TP ring site that I was looking at, I think it was established like 2,500 years ago. Maybe that's correct. It could be 2,500 BC. It could be all sorts of things. There's information out there. I think from the University of Oregon, one of the researchers that was there did their dissertation in the early 90s on an archaeological site that was near that area. And they found remnants of the Clovis people. I think I mentioned that this last time. The Clovis people was that group that came through after like the land bridge, like the original kind of group of people that came through the area. And so for a long time, they didn't really consider that they were in the Oregon region or the Oregon territory, but there's a lot of evidence. I mean, I think like the Fort Rock shoe, if you found, you can see pictures of that. I think it's like it's an interesting artifact, but I think it was dated to like 12,000 years ago. It's like one of the oldest human remnants out there, but it was this cache of shoes that was out by Little Fort Rock. And then I think there's another one out near Paisley, another set of caves where there was a cache found. So there's some really interesting stuff out there. But today I posted a photograph of one of the rocks that I found out there. It's just kind of a cool two-toned piece. I don't know if it's jasper or if it's just something else like that, but it's this cool two-tone piece of rock. I think jasper, that kind of flows from like an auburn sort of orange color into a deep red color at the top of it. It was just kind of a cool thing. And what's cool about Eastern Oregon is you can just walk around out there, and there's so much of the geology exposed, and there's so much land exposed. There's a lot of really cool stuff that you can walk around and find. There are just some really interesting pieces that you can go about and find that show a lot of the geological history of the past out here, like where obsidian came from in Oregon. It's really interesting when you start finding like naturally formed obsidian in some places. I think like after Mazama, that was a big one. There's another area called Glass Mountain out in Eastern Oregon. But Oregon was a really big location of it. I think specifically because of the Cascade Mountains, there's a lot of volcanic activity that created that. And it's interesting too, because I suppose because I've read that as archaeologists like look at the type of stone it is, even further back toward like the Mississippi, they find artifacts that are made of obsidian, and they can trace that stone source back to the West Coast, which is really interesting. I think it's sort of an indicator of some of the more established trade routes that they had, where they would trade flint stone and obsidian stone across tribes, and it would end up migrating for thousands of miles across the United States. But it's really interesting when you start kind of picking up on some of that, and way cool when you get back out there into Eastern Oregon when that stuff's exposed on the ground. You can walk around and like, oh well, look at this type of soil, look at this kind of rim rock, look at these petroglyphs. Oh man, there's lots of Indian remains out there. It's really interesting. So all that stuff's super fascinating to me, and a lot of it, like I was mentioning before, we don't really get to see over here in the Willamette Valley from the Kalapuya Indians that were over here, and a huge population just 1,000 years ago, all from Eugene to Portland. There was a bajillion people that populated this valley because it's so fertile. I'm sure it's a great place to live, or it's a pretty suitable, moderate climate in a lot of ways, and man, way better than the east side of the Cascades. Oh. Be rough out there. Imagine like a winter out in Burns before there's a Burns. Yikes! That's what I was hearing about. Is lots of stuff out there in all those lakes, but really interesting to go check out and look at and kind of learn more about that sort of stuff. But yeah, I put up another photo today of that two-tone piece of jasper rock that I thought was pretty cool that I found out there. I put up another photo. I talked about it a little while ago on the podcast, but it was a photo of the broken window that had been smashed out of my truck. By one of the homeless people in the neighborhood. They took like a big cement paver, and they just bashed it into the side of the window. Oh man, it was like over $1,000. If I had to pay for it, I guess insurance took care of a lot. But man, deductibles and all that nonsense that is associated with it is just like a total loss of productivity in a big way. It's way frustrating. But I got a window. It's cool. I had to wait longer, but I'm set. I don't know. It'll be okay, but it doesn't really change the homeless person problem, and nothing really gets sorted out to stop it. It's just sort of, all over. It doesn't really stop. So yeah, a photo of the grief I'm going through, but really as it goes, most stuff is going quite well. That's all repaired now, and moving forward, moving along. It's been a pretty fast month. A lot of changes, a lot of just like business changes, work changes, kind of stuff. But a lot of it's still pretty steady. It's been a way comfortable month. Like the weather has been awesome. At least in a lot of ways. Like there's a good bit of rain for like a week or so in October. I'll let the semi-truck pass. But yeah, there's like a week of bad weather. Or I don't know, there's a little bit of bad weather, and I've definitely been putting up with it. And man, these waves of rain that are going to be coming through, oh, that gets super frustrating, especially when you're working outside. You know, you just have to walk around and like try and set stuff up and still be out there in it. But man, a lot of the time it's like if you want to work outside and take photos, it's really cool when it's nice out. But man, is there sure half a part of the year that is no fun to go out in. I remember like last December and January, rough days to get out. It's like light out at 9 a.m., 9:15. Really looking forward to that part of the year again. So coming up pretty soon. I got a birthday a couple weeks out, like I was saying. Going to be 29, and in the year of 28 pretty soon. And I guess I had a couple goals for that, but most of them were, all my goals, or it seems like I'm obsessive about this stuff. Man, do I focus on it. But yeah, it's all photography based. It's all trying to like develop a media business. And yeah, this year's been cool for it. I'm really happy to keep working on it. It's a grind. Like it's just part of, I don't know, it's a lot of stuff that you got to put together. Like every day I got to like try and like, oh man, okay, I got to like screen capture this thing on my phone and make sure I post it here and here and here. And then I have to get these sets of posts ready. Then I have to, try and record some nonsense of a podcast into my microphone and then post that somewhere for 15 people to download. And then I have to like go set up something on YouTube and like try and get that going. And all that stuff's good. And it's been really cool. And I'm really proud of like trying to get more of that stuff established and more of it laid out. But the other part I want to work on, like I was talking about at the beginning, is distribution and networking and like communication of other people. But yeah, I'm definitely at the point where I'm starting to be, I don't know what it would be like where the work that I put in, that's the thing. I've talked about this plenty of times too. But as you get older, as you put in years of work into a certain discipline, it takes like a number of years before that work really starts to vest or starts to come through, starts to mean something that's a lot more valuable for you. And I'm really trying to respect that part of it and trying to understand, like, I'm paying my dues and I'm trying to get in and do work and stuff. And I understand that really none of this stuff goes fast or can be faked. And I don't know, it took me a while to get that in a sense, or it took me a while because of like I don't know, it's just tedious, right? It's tedious to start to understand what it takes to be successful or what it takes to really get good at the thing you want to do. And yeah, it's been fine, but it's interesting coming up to the age of 29, coming into 30 next year. Man, that's going to be a big one. I got to schedule out my weeks. I got 52 weeks to make it happen. You know what I mean? What, 54, 55 now? Yeah, probably 54 weeks before I'm 30. That's a big deal. Hey, 30? Yikes. I got to make it happen, you know? But I guess outside of that and this Mack truck, that is really about everything that's been going on. I've been putting up a bunch of stuff on Instagram, a bunch of stories and stuff. You can check them out at Billy Newman on Instagram. You can go to billynewmanphoto.com. Check me out on Twitter. But who goes to Twitter anymore? Twitter's wrapping up. I don't know, at least for me. I don't know if it really ever blew up. But yeah, check out Instagram. Check out YouTube if you want. You can cruise around for Billy Newman Photo out there too. And yep, I'm off to do some more networking. I'm going to post this podcast and shoot me a DM on Instagram if you listen to this podcast. Anyway, thanks a lot. Have a good one. Bye.